Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio, I'm Jerry Byrne. Since the lockdown and the advent of COVID and all the rest of it, I've been speaking to many of the great and the good of music. I've got a young gentleman online now who was touring with his own band. Fascinating story to tell. He has toured right around Ireland and further afield as well. He's also a relation of another well-known singer, Jason McGilligan. This is the one and only Jason McGilligan. Jason, how are you? Lovely to talk to you.
You too, Larry. It's good to be with you in this strange and unique time.
That's putting it mildly. We definitely didn't see this coming anywhere along the horizon.
So we could have predicted what we're going through right now. I've never seen anything like it. It's such a strange year, but sure we're alive and well, and that's all we can ask for, really.
Indeed, that's true. That is true. Jason, tell me this: you were absolutely flying back a few years ago, and you're making major inroads on the music scene. You had your own band, and you were touring all over the place.
Well, indeed, yeah. I toured the Irish country scene probably for 7 years in total. The first couple of years were, as with all kind of starting out musicians, they were difficult. But like you say, we started to make inroads and started to gain a bit of a following, and things started to go well. And we toured the length and breadth of Ireland. We released a couple of albums, and things were going good. Yeah.
Yes, they certainly were. And then something strange happened to your voice back in 2013.
Yes, so in late 2013, what started off as something that I thought was just a standard winter cold. I had a sore throat, and I had a difficulty singing. And I thought, it's just a season for it. Just take some antibiotics, take the honey and lemon, and I'll be fine. But as it turns out, it was something more sinister. And over the course of the next months, right into May 2014, things got worse, and I had to seek medical attention about it, because it got to the point, Jerry, where I couldn't sing for 15 minutes without going hoarse. So I went to I sought out every kind of avenue that I could to figure out what was going on. And I was told initially that it was nothing too serious, and that I needed to take a short break. So we took a short break in July that year, with the full intention of continuing the rest of my tours and continuing with finishing off my album and everything. And after a month, things were no better. So I spent probably the next 4 years really getting to the bottom of it. And I was finally diagnosed in 2018 with a condition called vocal dysphonia, where basically your vocal cords don't cooperate with one another. It's really common amongst singers, and in most cases, it kind of finishes your career. I was told by many doctors at the time that I would never sing again. But I'm of the belief that if my body somehow created it, my body can heal itself. So, like I was saying to you before, I went to every single therapy or healing that I could. I went to faith healers, I went to energy healers, I went to acupuncture and chiropractics, osteopaths, physio, speech therapy, you name it, I did it. And finally I found one sort of combination of things that worked, and it was all to do with your breathing. And then I got the all clear. And in 2019 we were able to finish off the album. And I had the plan of, releasing the album this year and starting to tour again and get back out onto the scene. And then COVID-19 happened, and I mean, we all know how that's going.
Yes, indeed. It's it's hard to believe, that you were actually, put out of action for that period of time, and then just to come back in, late last year, and then suddenly the whole thing came to a crashing halt in March of this year.
You couldn't write it, but I mean, I always say things could be worse. You know, I'm very lucky that in the years that I didn't sing, I was able to accomplish a lot. Like my wife and I got married. We have a beautiful home here, and you know, I like a lot of musicians are experiencing now. Like to be told at that time, you know, after having devoted a long number of years of my life to singing, that you know you may not be able to sing. You're kind of left holding the ball, thinking, you know, what am I going to do here? What do I do? And I was lucky enough to find a good job that was able to sustain us. And like I say, I was able to fund, you know, going around the country and trying to heal or repair the damage that was done. And luckily, I found that, you know, thank God.
Indeed. And is the you know, in order for to get better, was it? Did you have to do exercise? It's obviously a diet and possibly vocal exercises. Is it?
It's a mixture of diet, exercise, and lifestyle. So the one thing that really helped me was my job required a lot of driving at the time. And I would listen to like podcasts or, you know, interviews with people, and I stumbled across this guy one night called Wim Hof, and he's an Icelandic. I don't know how to describe him. He's a superhuman being. He like ran marathons in the Arctic barefoot. He has climbed Mount Everest with no auxiliary gear, and he puts it entirely down to this breathwork technique that he does. So I did a few workshops, you know, with Wim Hof instructors and learned how to do the breath work. And I had to apply that in daily life. And it takes 15 minutes a day. But up to that point, I had tried everything and nothing worked. Within 6 weeks of doing the Wim Hof breath work, my wife was able to say to me, I can actually understand you for the first time in a couple of years. She was like, I can hear your voice now. So that coupled with, you know, like you say, diet and lifestyle, taking care of yourself, because on the road when you're a touring musician, it's very easy to fall into the old habits of not eating properly, not sleeping properly, not exercising, not taking care of yourself. And any human will only last so long before your body goes, do you know what, you need to calm down here. So that's literally what happened with me.
Right. Truly amazing, and you know, I have to say, well done on all that you've achieved and accomplished with that, and to actually, you know, to be able to keep going and say you're going to beat this, and that you finally did it. I mean, that is one heck of an achievement.
Well, for me, there was no other option, really, Jerry. At that point, I didn't want to give up singing. I loved what I was doing. You know, no matter where we were going or how long the drive was, it was always worth it for the 2 hours on stage that we were getting to perform. And like the band I had at the time was a fantastic band, and we gelled well. And I was never as happy as when I was singing on stage. So for me, it was never an option just to lie down to it. As much as a lot of doctors would have said to you, you know, you're wasting your time, but I had to at least, you know, give it a good shot. So thankfully it paid off. It did pay off. And like I say, the voice is back, and I have an album sitting in the pipeline. And when COVID-19 and all of its associated impacts die down, we'll be able to get back on the road and get out and meet the people again, like we're meant to do. Indeed
so, and you know, that's absolutely, you know, excellent. That you know, and it's good that you were able to get back, at least, albeit for only about 6 months. But at least you were able to, you were able to sort of set your foot in water, so to speak, and be able to, you know, to do some, you know, some singing once again, and sort of get your. You know, get yourself out and about and meeting the people once again. It must have been absolutely fantastic after being away for so long.
It was beautiful. It was really nice. You know, the first gig that I did back was actually in my hometown in Limavady. So I got to kind of, you know, like you say, dip the toes in then. And then the next week I was away to Scotland for a weekend of music there. And got to meet up with a lot of the Irish musicians over there, and it was good fun. So, and over the Christmas period, I got to perform, and it was nice.
Yes.
And then obviously, February came, and we know how that went.
Indeed so. So what have you been doing with yourself, Jason, in the intervening time here since COVID struck?
So I have a full-time job. I work in IT for an American company. That was what I did back in my university days before I started singing and stuff. So I was able to fall back on that. But in the meantime, I was actually very, very lucky, and I'm glad you brought it up, Jerry, because I actually touched base with a charitable organisation.
Right.
They're called the Signal Foundation. They're very much in their early stages as a charity. But basically what they do is they nurture and develop and encourage musical and artistical ability in young people. So, I met the CEO of the charity in February, just before lockdown, and we just instantly clicked, and everything that he said made sense, because I remember being 15 and 16 and having an interest in music and a passion for it, but it was actively discouraged by the academic side of my life. Like school didn't encourage us to do music at all. It was seen as a not respectable career, really. So what the Signal Foundation does is it takes young people and helps them to develop their talent and gives them a platform as well to do it. So I've been lucky to get to kind of mentor some young people along the way, and there are bigger plans for the charity now. Once COVID dies down, we'll be going into schools and going into the communities, and it's definitely a worthwhile cause, and I'm delighted to be part of that. So that has taken up a lot of my lockdown time, and I suppose if lockdown hadn't have happened, I might not have met the people that because it's overlying there somewhere.
Indeed, well done on that. That's absolutely excellent, and something I think to be admired. And well done on all that you've done with the charity. That's absolutely superb. So excellent stuff, and hope it goes from strength to strength for you. And no doubt you released you had an album that was actually due for release, I believe, this year.
It was due for release in April this year, and then obviously we decided we regrouped and kind of thought, no, do you know what, we'll hold off. I've waited this long. There's no point in rushing it when I can't go out and tour with it and get to meet the people again. So I'm holding it off. I'll probably release a single in the next couple of months, and hopefully by that time we'll have an indicator or some sort of a roadmap as to what live performance is going to look like, and then hopefully we can release the album and do a bigger tour with it. And I've even spoke with you mentioned Kieran there. I've even spoke with Kieran about us maybe doing some stuff together in the future, because it would be nice to get out and tour with them again as well.
Right. Well, that sounds good. Definitely. No question about that. So, something there to look forward to, and fingers crossed. I think that that next year will be a lot better than this year.
I think there's light at the end of the tunnel with everything. So they want to get this under control. I think this is the first time that this has happened globally where they needed to figure out a roadmap, and albeit I don't necessarily think the powers that be did that particularly well, if I'm honest, especially not in relation to the live entertainment industry, because so many of my peers, my friends, my colleagues are really struggling at the moment and felt unsupported by their government. But as always, they have always had the support of the public, of their fans and people who love their music, and that's what keeps any musician going. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We just kind of have to roll with the punches for now. But I believe in a better year next year, definitely.
Yes, yeah, I think it's looking like that anyhow, because there are some very, very encouraging news coming out about vaccines and all that, and really and truly that's what we need to to get this all sorted out.
Absolutely, yeah. I think like we keep saying it's one of the strangest things to have happened, but everybody says, this is the new normal. Like, I could have remarked that I went to a local shop yesterday, to a supermarket, and just to get groceries, as you do. And I was kind of taken aback by the amount of people who were wearing masks, and that can't be the new norm for people who. Like, personally, I have trouble with wearing a mask because of my breathing. I don't like it. And I hate the term the new normal. It can't be the new normal. There's going to be a way around it, and we'll get back to normal life where we can see our families and interact with our friends and go out to dances and concerts and not have to worry about, are we exposed to the virus?
Yes, indeed. But fingers crossed and, with all of that. Jason, it's been lovely to chat to you. It really has. It's been fascinating and fascinating to hear your achievements, so many of them. And listen, well done with it all. And listen, when it's safe to do so, I'm looking forward to seeing you perform again.
Absolutely, Joe. I look forward to seeing you, and we'll definitely get you across some more music. And I just want to say hello to all your listeners, and thanks for supporting us and for supporting the musicians who need it right now. And we'll see you all in 2021 for what will be a better year, I believe.